Coming to you once again from the Illegal Shift Studio. It's another episode of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. I'm looking right at the camera as I open this beer. There you go. Eye contact. Beer's open.
Eye contact.
And it's what is this? A Wednesday afternoon. We're on about an hour earlier than we normally go on, which is good. And I'm glad to be here. I also would note that our third is not here, Andrew Pappas. I don't know what is up with this dude, although I saw him a couple of days ago, and he seemed very excited. He had an invite to a special event. I'm not very familiar with this thing. It's something called a freak off. Are you familiar with that at all? Have you heard of these things before?
I have heard. Heard of such things.
He said all he knows is that he was told that it lasts 4 days, but he doesn't really need a change of clothing, just a towel, and. He said there may or may not be video of this event that he has to share with us when he comes back. So Andrew Pappas is at a freak off right now. I don't know. He said some guy named Diddy runs the freak off. I didn't know he was buddies with. Is Diddy a celebrity? Some guy we should know? I ask my wife that all the time. I don't really follow the celebrity news. Right. I know there's something going on with Diddy right now. I couldn't name a Diddy song, and I ask my wife all the time, like when you see different people on TV. And if it's not one of the shows that we watch all the time, like a guy like Walton Goggins, I know who that is because he's in a show that we like, the Righteous Gemstone.
He's been in a bunch of things.
He was in The Shield, great show, probably one of my all-time favorite TV shows.
Played a tranny in Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy was really good in that, but all the red carpet when they have the awards and all that shit, I don't know who those people are. I don't, so I don't follow that stuff.
I know who a lot of them are. Obviously, I know who Diddy is because I grew up listening to his music and Notorious B.I.G. and all those dudes. But the fact that Andrew got an invite to a freak off, I'm a little bit bullshit because he got invited to be on the podcast.
So you're saying
when you stepped away, but I didn't get invited to a freak off. But
so you're saying the freak off is better than the podcast? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not, definitely, because after what I've read about said freak offs, yeah, I'm completely good. It's a perfect segue in. So I don't know if it's Casey or Cassie.
I think it's Cassie. And the only reason I know that is because I think this is being reported on the news. I watch Fox News in the morning.
You watch mainstream media,
and they talk about this.
Yes.
So and I guess she was on the stand. Either Monday or Tuesday.
She's been on a couple days. Some
very explicit testimony, shall we say?
Yes.
You take it from here.
So, the things I've heard before I even start reading. The things I heard just in a Cliff Notes version.
And look, man, this is a very attractive young lady.
Yeah,
when she there's some all kinds of pictures that popped up for her. She is very, very attractive.
So now I believe it's 8 months pregnant. I know she's pregnant. Mm-hmm. I believe it's 8 months pregnant. But the stories that she was saying, in the fact that Diddy would hire male escorts to get with her while he watched. And I'm doing these dramatic pauses because to me, I could not even imagine making those demands, for one. But two, she had to teach one of them how to do a golden shower, which I just read that this morning, where apparently you're just supposed to let your urine dribble out on said person, whoever that may be. But apparently he just let loose and you had to yell at him, you're doing it wrong. But that's a shit that Diddy wanted to fucking see. He wanted to see Cassie, whatever it is, involved in these things. So she was on the stand, I believe, for 2 days because the trial started Monday. I think she was on the stand yesterday or Monday and yesterday because we're on Wednesday. But reading some of the shit that she was saying, like the manipulation is what sickens me.
Mm-hmm.
In the fact where I was just trying to be, and she kept calling him Combs because that's how the attorneys were referring to him. I wanted Combs to want me to feel like I wanted to be with him, and I wanted to be with him, and those were the only times that I could be with him because he was always around people. The manipulation behind just in this first part of this case is just absolutely astounding to me.
So I guess what and look, if she was in her 20s and these were all consenting adults who were doing this crazy shit, I mean, this is really, if that's what you want to do, then by all means knock yourself out. But there are that, and the reason that this trial is, I guess, potentially so explosive is because didn't some of these parties involve underage kids at some point? Or at least that's the allegation.
And I think that's where we're
Is
getting.
that right?
We're in a very, yes, that is the one of the allegations with the sex trafficking and everything else. We're not even there yet.
So they're just laying the foundation right now that this was a standard everyday occurrence, or at least a regular occurrence as far as as far as Diddy is concerned.
Yeah. So it says,
and then later on they're gonna introduce the part where the kids would get involved in this.
and this article reads, it's fucking gross. But Sean Diddy Combs wanted to freak off days before Cassie Ventura's first movie premiere, but she hesitated because she didn't want to ruin her body before the big night. Cassie testified Tuesday. Cassie felt as though she had to follow through with Diddy's request, or else he would have, in quotes, made it miserable for me, end quote. She testified that if she complied with his wishes, her movie premiere would go smoothly. There was a lot of drinking during the freak off, which included an escort named Jules. In the middle of the session, Cassie testified that Diddy hit her, which caused a black eye. She attempted to leave and escape the hallway elevator, but the next thing she knew, she was on the ground. And that's the video that we've seen where he beat the brakes off of her in that hotel.
Oh, was that during a freak off?
Yeah.
Is that where these things took place in a hotel?
Yeah. While they were out of town, not just at his house.
I was going to say, doesn't he have his own?
Took place all over the place.
The dude was a multi-millionaire, is he not?
The last I checked.
Yeah. All right.
So, I mean, the shit that's coming out.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, it's very, very early on. But, I mean, we definitely feel like it's one more and I'm out of here newsworthy in the fact that this weird son of a bitch, you never know what happens behind closed doors, Dan Carroll. You never know.
Well, hopefully Pappas will fill us in when he gets back.
And if hopefully he wasn't part of this one. That's what we're hoping. But I mean, you remember that video though. I think we showed that video.
Yeah, where he she's out in the hallway and he's got nothing but a towel on.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's winds up dragging her by the hair back towards the the room that they came out.
Yeah, so she brought in, just in the quick notes, she brought that one into light. So it gives you a little bit of idea of how do you want to party with Diddy or not?
Yeah. She often
would you go party with Diddy if he was like, hey, before the trial started?
She recalled often
Sean
choking because there was too much urine in my mouth. I don't want anyone to urinate on me. Ventura said from the stand. Sean would urinate in my mouth, not super often, but often enough.
Not super often. Just don't do it too much.
Christ.
That is like some weird sadistic
we
shit.
Seriously need to question the types of people that Pappas is hanging around with. He's got an invite to a party like this.
No, it's because we didn't have a picture of a girlfriend this time. That's why we're where we're at.
All right. So, hey, can we do one more piece of celebrity news?
Yes, let's do
Yeah, you just downloaded a picture a little while ago. We'll call it picture number 5080, I believe was the number, if I'm not mistaken. And this picture
80-50. I
is
think you have dyslexia.
Okay.
I have just diagnosed you.
Well,
because I'm a paramedic and I can.
My memory didn't serve me too well on that one.
You ready?
All right, quiz. How many people are watching right now?
Well, we have five.
Five watching.
5 that is showing. But
Okay.
I think it's a little bit more because it's been fluctuating. We were up to 10 or 12, and then it goes back and forth.
All right. If you're in the chats, let's see how long it takes for someone in the chats to identify this particular individual. Here we go. It's like a game show, like a contest. You put up a picture of a pretty famous person.
I don't have the drinking bros like the walk up, the Price is Right, because that's what they do when they bring up as drinking bro of the week.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about this show.
Your buddy got it first.
We don't have writers. Who's that? Oh, 513. Clooney. Then Falk around says, "What's with George?" So it's pretty easy to identify this guy. Yes,
seems
George Clooney.
Seems so.
Everyone, I've actually seen George Clooney in person a couple of times.
I've met him twice, and I love him in all the Ocean's 11. I love all his movies for the most part.
I didn't know you felt that way.
I like him. I think he's a good actor. I like his movies.
He's got some good movies.
I don't like his politics. I don't like his politics, but
I don't care for his politics. But this is why
his dad is a goddamn treasure, and you watch your mouth. You being in the media,
what?
You should know that.
What, Nick Clooney?
Yeah, he's a goddamn treasure.
Nick Clooney was he ruled this town.
Yes,
as far as the news goes.
Yeah, you're looking at me like I have fucking 7 heads.
I've never met Nick Clooney.
I've never met Nick. I've met George twice.
But apparently
in Maysville.
Apparently, one of the revelations in the book by Jake Tapper, which I think we may have talked about when that story initially came out, is that George Clooney had this star-studded event.
You don't have an article for me.
No.
Okay.
But George Clooney apparently had this star-studded event to raise money for the Biden. Barack Obama was there. I don't know if Bill Clinton was there, but but it's George Clooney and all his buddies, big Hollywood event. And apparently, when Joe Biden showed up at this event, he's like, hey, Joe Biden, it's me, George Clooney, the guy who's putting on the party and everything and raising all this money for you. Apparently, Joe Biden didn't recognize him. Joe Biden had no idea who he was. I mean, that's pretty damn bad. And so this book by Jake Tapper and this other dude from Axios, it's called, what the hell is it called? It doesn't matter what it's called. But this book is out now, or at least it's out, or it's coming out very soon. And are you
going to read it?
What, the book?
Yeah.
When it comes out, probably not. But the whole idea is that we are supposed to believe that somehow that this White House under Joe Biden was conniving enough and smart enough to fool the entire media, to fool all the Democrats, to fool all the Joe Biden supporters, and only this tight cabal of individuals within the White House truly knew of the cognitive decline of Joe Biden. And Jake Tapper is trying to sell this notion now. And he was on with CNN the other day, and he said, oh, the White House lied. The White House lied to, they lied to other White House staff. They lied to the media. They lied to other Democrats. And I listened to Jake Tapper say that, and I wish I could interview and ask him some questions, because this notion that the White House lied to other Democrats, that is either a complete lie or other Democrats. And I can
complete corruption.
I can go back and I can show you video of Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, talking about how she met with Biden. She's met with Biden. I met with Joe Biden just the other day. He was sharp.
Yes.
He was ready to go. I can show you video of Nancy Pelosi talking about the mental acuity of Joe Biden. I can show you video of Amy Klobuchar talking about how she met with Biden. I can show you video of a guy named Chris Combs, and I can and he's talking about, oh, I've never noticed any mental decline. Chuck Schumer, Alejandro Mayorkas testified before
Yes.
Congress that when you go into a meeting with Joe Biden, you better be on your A game, because this guy knows the issues. He's going to ask some tough questions. He's very sharp, very on top of it. So you've got all these Democrats and all these members of his cabinet out there day after day after day after day talking about how sharp Joe Biden was. And then we played. Do we have that video? The video you showed I sent it to you a little while ago.
Yeah.
Let's play that video. And I think we start with Joe Scarborough on this one.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I think this might be a little montage.
I was just letting you get off your fucking.
But I'm just saying,
for a second, because you're getting ready to have a stroke, and I was working.
Well,
I'm off work until Friday. I don't want to have to work.
But how many times?
No, you're right.
Anyone with eyes to see and ears to hear and working brain cells.
I put it in the description. Oh, Biden's not the way that we thought he was. ... We knew that. Like, they were going to put him in a fucking wheelchair, but they had to wait until he got out of the fucking White House. So
if he won re-election.
Yeah. Here it is.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth.
He's sharp, he's focused, he's bright.
I don't have any concerns, and that's from personal interactions.
There's Goldman, he's a clown.
Version of Biden is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. Alert. Sound.
Millie.
I mean, the Republicans are good at distractions.
I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline.
And if the Democrats were honest, they'd admit President Biden's mental capacity is declining. 6 in 10 Americans don't have confidence in Joe Biden's mental capacity.
Then you have the liberal media told bad things about media members of the oversight because we have the audacity to investigate.
Giving us their drive-by diagnoses of the President of the United States.
Congressman, what you are suggesting is that I omit portions of my reasoning and explanation of the Attorney General for political reasons.
Democrats get into a frenzy.
Do you think people close to President Biden are being honest about his mental state?
And these slip-ups kind of happen.
I mean, there should be no concern.
So I don't really care if he was off for 90 minutes and didn't put on like people wanted him to put on.
I saw no more in his explanation than I've seen in anybody else.
Sharper than anyone I've spoken to.
This is a very sharp president.
Let's go by that.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
Very fucking Sideshow Bob fucked it up too the whole time.
Nobody's buying what he's selling.
And the pipeline of videos that aren't telling the full truth.
All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity is declining.
He's already turned.
The same right-wing influences that are trying to take me down are trying to take down President Biden. So
Joe Biden's not the one calling the shots.
And let's look at President Biden.
People see nobody suggests he's senile, and that's disrespectful of senior people with any kind of memory disability.
We're all aware of how he's doing.
The president of Mexico, Sisi, we finally beat Medicare.
Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. You know what? I don't really care.
I'm serious.
I really don't know what he said at the end of this sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
President Biden's decline and its cover-up by the people around him.
Cover-up is a very loaded term.
I don't think that there is a huge cover-up underway here.
If anybody out there gives a damn about the truth, read that interview.
Original Sin. It's about President Biden's disastrous decision to run for re-election and the cover-up of his decline.
We missed a lot of this story.
And I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline and cover-up of his decline.
We missed a lot of this story.
If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
And they say I'm in good shape.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's fucking perfect.
There's Joe Biden. And we're supposed to believe that the White House was shrewd enough to cover all this up. And we're supposed to buy this notion now that it was a White House cover-up and go out there and buy the book by Jake Tapper. And then you saw the other dude on there from Axios who actually got an award for his coverage of it, because I think that was one of the very few journalists who may have written one or two pieces about Joe Biden's cognitive decline.
John Bates is going off in the chats. Which John, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for all your help with some of the production here and getting our thumbnails together. And we love you. And we do a legal shift together on the Fox News Network, and then we simulcast it over here on one more. But so John's saying, he was like, play the 60 Minutes interview where they just ask him how his memory is, and then he says, okay, they're all reading the same script. Who wrote the script? Jake Tapper. Weird. And I agree with you. It's weird. But then our buddy, Andrew's not here, so I can put this comment up. Just wait until you find out about FDR and Reagan's entire second term. We all know he shouldn't have ran for that second term, but underplaying the president's health problem is a common practice. I'm going to call completely different. Yes, at the very end of Reagan's term, or at the very end of Reagan's life, I'll say, like he was, you could tell he wasn't there. You were alive or paying more of attention.
Yeah.
During Reagan's term, his 2 terms. With Biden, I mean, how do you compare that? Do you compare it? Is there a comparison?
Well, I don't think there's any comparison. Reagan was,
and it's funny because
even
since he's a little bit younger now.
Even from day one when Reagan stepped in office, they talked about his mental ability to do the job that he did. And you look at the accomplishments of Reagan. I think
we're just going on. Don't even go. Yeah. Don't go accomplishment. Cognitive ability.
In the second term, I think you can make the case that he was on the decline a little bit, but not even in the same ballpark as the way Joe Biden.
That's somebody that lived through it, like that was recognizing that at that time, because I was not.
I think that's why the whole Iran-Contra thing got away from him, because there were people who were probably taking advantage of whatever weaknesses they saw in him, and they were able to either give him bad advice or, convince him to try and cover it up or try and not be honest about the whole thing from the very beginning. But David Plouffe,
I do want to shout this one out. He said, "I'm 44 years old. I'm not a Miss 40. I knew we were close. You must have paid a lot more attention growing, in those younger years to politics than I did. So I'll give you that. That's why I handed it over to somebody that was a little bit older and had been in the workforce and watching politics. So not saying that you're dumb. I'm just saying I don't remember those times for me to be able to put out a good point.
Yeah, no, I was in the military under Reagan. And so I tended to pay attention when there was news about the commander in chief. And I mean, a lot of that was serving overseas. So it wasn't as if, you got to remember back in the 80s, you didn't have CNN, you didn't have Fox, you didn't have the 24-hour news cycle like we have now.
All the fake news.
Yeah. But I would argue that there was a decline, but to the degree that you have with Biden, there's completely night and day, completely two different things.
And to spin it, you didn't hear anything, any books written, or at least that I know of, and I'm not saying I know every book, but nobody backstabbed fucking Reagan in the downward of his decline when he was done and he was out of office, to where they're saying, yeah, we were going to put him in a wheelchair, but we had to wait until after the election. You didn't hear any of that shit.
Well, David Plouffe, who's been a longtime friend and advisor of Kamala Harris, he's coming out now, and I guess in Original Sin, and essentially he's talking about when Biden decided that he wanted to run for re-election. The quote that he's being attributed to him is that he totally fucked us. And he's there. So to my way of thinking, there's no holding back there.
Nope,
so he's just, they're saying, look, this guy, he fucked us over.
Yeah.
I don't know how you sugarcoat that.
Yeah, he totally fucked us. Kamala Harris aide figures Biden for election loss.
Yeah.
in
never mind the fact that Kamala Harris is historically one of the worst candidates ever. Never mind the fact that she couldn't defend any of her own policy ideas. Number one, because they weren't even her ideas.
Because they weren't hers.
Yeah.
Exactly, because they were not hers.
Yeah, she couldn't defend any of the idiotic ideas that she put out there, and that when she ran on her own in the Democrat primary, she quit. She dropped out of the race before the first primary was ever held. So no one ever voted for her to be president before Joe Biden was forced out. And they all, wanted to pretend that Kamala Harris was somehow the greatest thing since sliced bread. And now they don't want to blame her. They want to blame Biden. And, here's Pluff saying, it's all Biden.
And,
his decision not to drop out earlier of the race totally fucked us.
That's the way it shifts. Like when and Republicans are just as bad. So don't get me wrong. But because we've got Trump in here and, the tariffs are bad. The fucking stock market's terrible. All of these things that he's doing, Orange Man is bad. Well, guess what? Stock market came back out. It leveled out. Everybody said, settle down, give it time. It's going to go down again at some point. Settle the fuck down. But the tariffs, everybody was bitching about the fucking tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Everything has kind of leveled off. It may not be fucking perfect, but it definitely wasn't perfect for the 4 years before his administration. But everybody is, the fucking sky's falling. And I said it our last podcast. I want to jump into just because, since he's been active in the chat, so I appreciate that. Because since he sent me a message, and I want your opinion, Dan.
Never sends me a message.
You want me to send you his number or your number to him?
No, I don't want him to have my number.
I will. I'll do it.
I did not. That cannot happen.
Well, be nice to me.
Then I will change my number.
Be nice to me.
And I won't even let you have it.
But no, real quick. Well, we'll just jump real quick. But he sent me a text message and he was like, "Hey, I'm curious." And he was very nice in his text message.
Good.
Of what do we think, or the Trump supporters, or the Trumpers, or whatever, like whatever term you want to put, right wingers,
MAGA.
We'll call MAGA. We'll just throw MAGA. What do you feel about this? So let me share the screen. I got it on.
I love this story.
So I haven't talked to Dan about this.
Okay. That's fact. We have not.
We have not talked about this. So what are your thoughts as an American, just an American, I have two questions, because the first one's going to make me sound really, really more dumb than I already am. But is it Qatar or Qatar?
I prefer Qatar.
That's the way I pronounce it.
This pronunciation of Qatar.
I keep hearing.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, but I think everyone pretty much goes with Qatar.
Okay,
Qatar,
all right, cool.
Qatari.
All right, so Trump's $400 million Qatar jet gift follows long history of unusual presidential gifts. But I got the question from our buddy Cincy and I'll just say how do we feel about that gift of that jet? And I'll let you lead.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll let you lead.
Well, first of all, I think that Trump is doing a little bit of a troll job on the media with this. The jet has been here in the United States. There's video of him going on the jet. He took a tour of it. Big, beautiful 747. Trump has a well-known feud going on with Boeing over the new 747s that will become Air Force One. The things are way behind schedule, way over budget, and it's sort of another black eye, I think, for Boeing that they Rand Paul was on I heard him on radio earlier today, and he was talking about how slow Boeing is. And he says, I really look at Boeing as not really a private company, but, sort of an extension of government, the way they run their business and, how slow they are to react to issues and problems. And this relationship that they have with the government, they are far too cozy in this relationship. And they seem to get away time and time again with cost overruns, and there's no accountability for it. There's nothing in the contract to incentivize them to come in on schedule or on budget. And so, these airplanes, these new 747s that are going to be the executive jet, they were ordered during the first Trump administration. And now here we are, 5 or 6 or 7 years later, and there's still nothing to show for it.
Do you think it might be like internet, where it gets throttled down when the next administration comes in? They're like, yeah, he wanted this. We're going to go ahead and just push.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's political considerations in this, but this, first of all, if you've seen pictures of this jet, it is it's stunning, man. It's beautiful.
Well,
and if they want to give it as a gift to Trump, and then he says, yeah, I'll use that it'll go into the Air Force inventory. I'll use it for Air Force One. Then I'll put it in my presidential library. So the notion that
there's three different options, though, like with what I've heard.
I'll let you fill that part in, but I'm just relating the parts of the story that I know and what I think about it. The notion that he's going to use this somehow as a personal gift. And so I think a lot of the hardcore left is trying to sell this narrative that Trump wants to use this as a personal gift that's worth in excess of $400 million. And so it allows them to continue with the narrative that Trump is only in this for himself. He only wants to enrich himself. But I think if truth be told, and you really dig down deep on this, I think he's just doing this to troll the media. He enjoys playing mind games with them. He enjoys having them, get their panties all in a twist about this kind of stuff. So he's just going to let it play out a little bit, and once there's a legal opinion on this, an opinion that comes from, I guess there's a congressional committee that's going to look at it, and I don't know if there's going to be a judge's ruling on it. But once there's a consensus from Congress on this, and I think it may also be a little bit of a ploy to kick Boeing in the ass a little bit and say, let's get moving on these, on the jets that are supposed to be ours. I mean,
but they're an international, publicly traded company.
Well, sure.
They don't give a fuck.
Well, they should.
It's money, and money, dude. They don't give a shit.
I know, but this is Boeing is a stain on America if this American company can't produce these jets on time and on budget. And I think that's the way that Trump looks at stuff like this, right? It's like if you've got a quarterback and you go out in the draft and you draft the number 1 or number 2 rated quarterback and put him on your team, that's lighting a fire under your quarterback's ass and saying, get your shit together. And I think that's part of what the play is here with Trump. The idea that we would accept the jet from Qatar with all the security implications that have. I mean, in a practical sense,
all I needed was
if
whether
they
you agreed with it or whether you didn't. Jesus.
Well, am I not allowed to give my opinion? This is the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast.
But you're going like way far.
Well, I'm trying to explain myself.
And you're right. This is the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast.
Practical sense.
This is how this happens.
And I just want to show that I have some understanding of this issue. In a practical sense, if you brought that aircraft in here and said, yeah, we want to use this for Air Force One, you would pretty much have to go in and dismantle that entire aircraft, check it for. I mean, how many computers are on board an aircraft like that?
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that because I had some shit.
You would have to do a deep dive into all that.
No.
You would have to, I mean, all the security concerns. I mean, that would probably wind up being almost as expensive as just starting and building one from scratch. So, could this thing wind up in the Trump presidential library? I think that would be very cool if it was. Do it. My bottom line thought on this is I think Trump is just having some fun with this, just to, exercise the media a little bit and have them kind of, blow their heads off on this particular story. What say you?
Okay. Well,
grab me a beer first. How about that?
Jesus Christ.
I should. Well, you had me. Look.
I didn't think that was going to be a goddamn master's thesis.
Did you get all that?
Oh, somebody did.
All right.
Fuck. Our buddy Tyler says it's a fucking gift. Who really gives a fuck the value or what? It's pathetic that the headlines Trump also got a blowjob the 91 presidency. Who gives a fuck about that? So I am very, and I had this pulled up and fucking Dan derailed me, but
okay.
My thoughts with it. I'm very leery of accepting a gift from that area of the country, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Area of the world.
Or world, I mean,
okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. Very leery. And obviously, what would need to be put into that jet for it to be the temporary Air Force One until Boeing gets the ones that are already on order squared away is an exorbitant amount of money, but also the security concerns. Why would I accept a jet? And this is a two-sided thing. I'm fence riding right now just because I want to get Cincy's fucking head fucking rolling. But why would I accept a jet from a country over there that we have not had great relations with completely? Certain people out of that country. We're going to bring that over and let our commander-in-chief ride that. Now, stripping it down, going through it, debugging it, doing whatever they have to do.
Oh, it'd be unbelievably.
And then securing it and making it what Air Force One is now.
I just sent you a really good picture of it if you want to try and dial that up. I don't know how long it would take, but I think it's pretty cool looking jet.
On the flip side, I'm going to play this video because I do kind of like the way he fucking plays games. And as you said, he was trolling, and that's where I was sitting there hovering over the play button, but you kept going. And now it's probably going to be an article.
You should be embarrassed asking that. I can say, no, don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or $400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? 82 tournaments, was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it.
I'll see. See, you fucked me up because I didn't even share the fucking screen.
What do you mean?
Well, I had it dialed up, and
that was the Sam Snead story.
Yeah. Well, it didn't show up there today.
Oh man,
you fucking derailed the whole goddamn thing.
You can't.
Anyway, Trump saying if they're gonna fucking give you something, then fucking take it. Yeah. Essentially, the cliff notes.
See, but that the way he responded to that question, and can you go in your email and find that picture?
Yeah.
And I think that's a great picture of that jet. But the way he responded to that question, when I saw that the other day, that told me that he's just playing with him. He's playing. And look, if Trump was not getting shit done, if the administration was spinning its wheels or goofing off too much, or I thought all he was doing, then I would have a problem with him doing stuff like that. But I mean, you look at what's going on, the news that's coming out of this trip to the Middle East, and I mean, it is just, it's breathtaking, the kind of stuff that he's getting done. But that is a 747-8, and that's the one from Qatar. I mean, just the paint job alone would probably cost multiple millions of dollars.
Yeah,
I would think. Yeah. I would like to see the process of how they paint those.
I just want to see it. I just want to see the inside of it.
Yeah.
Before they fucking fortify it and do all their things.
I think there's video of it out there somewhere.
My thought process
of Trump doing this,
where I feel I get pissed off, and I've seen a lot of fucking social media shit in our local stuff where I feel that people are somewhat ignorant in the fact that they think that he's just going to take this fucking plane when he's done at the end of his term and put it in his fleet. That's not the way that works. That plane is actually gifted, if accepted, to the Department of Defense and the Air Force. It's not gifted to Donald Trump. But these libtards that live around here, around us,
sure.
The shit that I've been fucking reading, but I'm very good about not replying, not rebutting. I'm better than our cohort. I can pull my shit back. That's not the way that works. Yes, he could gift it to his library, but guess what? It's just going to get regifted to something that's useful, whether Department of Defense or the Air Force. So, do we take it? I don't give a shit whether we take it or not, as long as it's fucking debugged and it's gone over. You know what I mean? Like, as long as we know that it's good for us and it's clean, boom, take it. If they're going to give us $400 million jet, our Air Force could use that.
Sure.
And it's up to him to deviate where he wants it to go.
Well, he bought a Tesla, and he let staff members of the White House drive that around. And you got a 747 sitting there. Yeah, sure, take her out for a spin.
But with that, oh shit, I think I closed that story out. God
but I don't think it would.
He's not the only fucking president. That's the thing. He's not the only president that fucking took things, and that's why I had that up. And I think I closed it.
Well, so, I think it's just something he's having some fun with.
You derailed my whole plan, Dan. Not shocked.
Why? Because I talk too long.
Yeah, because you fucking go on and on and on and on. And on.
Well, I wanted to explain myself.
But he's not the only president. Now, I did see something that I think I debunked when I fact checked, was because there were leftists that were saying, "Oh, Bill Clinton got a helicopter from somebody."
I saw a picture of that.
I saw it.
I don't remember that though. Do you remember that?
I looked in multiple sources.
Fake.
He did not get. So look, we're being fair.
Fake news. He
did not get a helicopter. Now he got a rug with him and his wife's face knitted in it from some Arab country that they had 12 women do it in 10 hours, and that was a gift. And there were so many other, and God, I wish.
Well, that's just it.
I wish I had to pull it off. You can Google it. But
when
Abraham Lincoln was going to get fucking elephant tusks, like there were so many different things. All these presidents accept gifts. So now a $400 million jet, that's a little bit different. But elephant tusks are illegal. So Abraham Lincoln, apparently, he did not accept those though. Difference is he did not accept them. He said, I don't want those. So then they gave him I think 15 goats or some shit. I mean, whatever. Different times.
Quite valuable back in the day, I understand.
Probably. I'm sure they would have been. But going through, and Google it. Google the presidential gifts from foreign countries. Trust me, it's interesting. I mean, there's all kinds of things in there. And I didn't pay attention to any of that. The Resolute desk was that Wilson? Is that Wilson that got it?
I don't know. Apparently, there's 6 or 7 different desks that a president can choose from.
But that first Resolute desk
from
England, from the Resolute Forest. Sorry, my dog's going off. I don't know if you can hear it or not. It's pissing me off, but
it's in security mode.
Jesus. But no, I mean, if you go back and look at all the list of what presidents get, they get gifts. This is extreme, but if they're going to give it, do I think it should be Air Force One? No, I do not.
But the whole notion, and it was a Chuck Schumer, or it was some idiot Democrat. Well, this is just flat out corruption. This just shows you how corrupt Donald Trump is.
What?
And if there was an attempt at corruption here, then it wouldn't be on the front page of the news.
Look at your fucking party.
They'd be trying to keep it quiet. And like Joe Biden, we didn't know about Burisma was not trumpeted by the administration in power when that was going on. We didn't know about the gifts from the mayor of Moscow's wife. We didn't know about the connections to China.
I know
and Uzbekistan and all the rest of it.
I know it's a different country, but can we get a receipt back for all of the shit that we left in Afghanistan for Biden?
How about that?
Can we get a receipt back so then, it may not equate exactly, but can we make a difference? I mean, what the fuck? This stupid bullshit, though, that's the stupid bullshit that pisses me off. And when I'm seeing shit here locally, I'm like, oh, God damn. I'm not the most educated. I've never claimed to be. Never since this podcast has started have we said, this is a news source. This is fact. This is our opinions, and this is how we're reading it. So just know that.
So let me just give you a couple of headlines as it regards Trump and his visit to Qatar. Donald Trump secures historic $1.2 trillion economic commitment in Qatar. Part of that is an order of Boeing jets. So, Trump has an issue with Boeing when it comes to building the new executive jets. But then on the other hand, he's in Qatar and he's getting them to sign an order, one of the largest orders Boeing has ever had, $200 billion worth of Boeing jets to Qatar. Trump also just came from Saudi Arabia. That is a $600 billion commitment to the United States. $142 billion of that is in an arms deal with Saudi Arabia. So this guy is going over there, and what's he selling? He's selling the United States. He's selling investment in the United States. And you get numbnuts in the media who want to ask Carolyn Levitt, is Donald Trump over there? Is he doing this for his family business? Is he over there? Is he inking deals in a hotel or a land deal or something like that?
Here, hold on. Let me pull that.
Here we go. This I love this girl.
I think you forgot about it.
Do you know if the president has any plans to meet with any of the folks involved with any of the family businesses over there, or see any of the sites that are going to be
Not to my knowledge, and let me just get to the premise of your question that both of you have raised. I think it's frankly ridiculous that anyone in this room would even suggest that President Trump is doing anything for his own benefit. He left a life of luxury and a life of running a very successful real estate empire for public service, not just once, but twice. And again, the American public reelected him back to this White House because they trust he acts in the best interest of our country and putting the American public first. This is a president who has actually lost money for being president of the United States. I don't remember these same type of questions being asked of my predecessor about a career politician who was clearly profiting off of this office. That is not what President Trump does. And this White House holds ourselves to the highest of ethical standards.
Go fuck yourself. I'm going to say go fuck all of you, because anything that she said right there, I don't know how you can dispute. I don't know how you can dispute it. He took a pay cut. He donated all of his fucking proceeds.
Yeah.
His salary. Did fucking Joe Biden do that? Has Joe Biden...
He doesn't take a paycheck. I think he has to accept, take $1.
Right.
But the rest of it gets donated.
What has Joe Biden done Oh, and see, this is where I'm getting fired up. What has Joe Biden done in the fucking 60 years that he's done in public politics? What is he giving back? What? Please tell me. Nothing.
I don't know.
Nothing publicly, anyway. He may have donated some money. Okay, cool. Here's, St. Mary's of the poor. Here's fucking $20 in Delaware, where I grew up with the Puerto Ricans. And
well,
all that
just
bullshit.
let me respond
Fuck
to
off.
Cincy
Fuck
513. So 513 says, so he's just playing. What are you going to say if he actually accepts it, or should I wait to hear what Fox News tells you what to repeat? So 513 thinks all I do is repeat what I hear on Fox News. Is that what he's saying? I didn't hear anyone on Fox News give you the take that I have.
That's exactly.
And guess what?
That's exactly what you think.
If he takes it, then I'll come on here and I'll say I thought he was just playing. Apparently, he's going to take it. I mean, the thought, like Jason said, the thing could wind. It's not. If you listen, 513, what I said is that if the airplane is accepted, it's not going to go to Trump's personal benefit.
It's not.
It's going to benefit either the United States. It's going to benefit the Department of Defense. It's going to be an Air Force. That jet will never be converted into Air Force One. Okay, I'm going to go on the record and say that. But he's not going to take it. And if he does take it and it goes to his presidential library, how does that benefit him personally? It benefits the library is a complete and different entity than Donald Trump, the individual.
Right.
So 513, try and figure out what you're talking about before we go. God, man, this hour is getting away from us.
I know.
Let's go to the dude who is talking about what's going on with Hinton.
Where's he at?
I know you showed me that one. And by the way, a big Pete Rose night here tonight in Cincinnati at the ballpark. And Pete Rose now eligible for the Hall of Fame. Kind of a douchebaggery news or a move. Now you wait till after the guy's dead and you say he's eligible for the Hall of Fame. But we're big Pete Rose fans here. At least I am. And I would definitely like to see him get in. You had it up there a second ago.
I know. I'm trying to figure out where the hell it went.
I don't know.
Oh, I know what you're talking
That's
about.
it right there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Sorry. I had two different things in my head.
Okay.
My bad. My fault. No, huge Pete Rose fan. We'll get into that at the very end on like how I feel, where I'm at. But so you guys have heard us talk, if you've been tuning in over the last, 7 days, 5 days, about the incident that happened here. We had a deputy that got ran over after the perpetrator, his son, got shot the day before. And it's not great. It's not great here in the climate of Cincinnati with social media, at least. So Dan sent me this, and I hadn't seen this yet. But
all kinds of idiots out there.
Yeah, so I'll just put it up on the screen, and then you can take it from there. You probably can't read that, can you?
No. Why don't you take it?
You can't read that. This fella with a handle on, and that's X, right? Yeah. Handle on X, Christian Search. This reads as a white man, let me say this. Rodney Hinton did not, end quote, lose control. He finally took some back. The system murdered his son, shot down an 18-year-old over a stolen car, claimed he pointed a gun, and then couldn't even back it up with a clear body cam.
First of all, this guy's got his facts. He has very few facts.
Correct.
Very few facts at all.
They watched that boy die, gave his father the footage, and basically said, now get over it, in quotes. Now get over it, in quotes.
That's another lie.
You expect him to go home and pray on it, question mark. You expect him to light candles and write signs while the same system gears up to do it again to somebody else's kid next week, question mark. Nah, he hit back. And now everyone's crying about the cop he ran over, a retired deputy. As if that's a real tragedy here. Funny how people suddenly care about, in quotes, life when it's one of your own in uniform. But when it's a grieving black father begging for justice, you label him a threat.
God, this guy's just a complete imbecile.
This country was built on retaliation, on rebellion, on, in quotes, don't tread on me. But let a black man fight back and suddenly it's terrorism, ? Nah. That's rage you created. That's grief this system signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm not saying what Rodney did was legal. I'm saying it was understandable. And I'd rather live in a world full of Rodneys than another one where cops keep walking free after burying somebody's baby. If that makes you uncomfortable, ... good. You going or am I?
Go ahead.
This motherfucker, I want to know who he is. And I would love to have a conversation. Only because he's entitled to his opinion. And I will give him that. Because I feel like I'm a good fucking person. I'll give him that opinion. But the shit that he's, to Dan's point, he doesn't have all the fucking facts yet. Not everybody has all the facts. There's a lot of facts out there, though. But the fact that he said what he did wasn't legal, the poor motherfucker that he hit, for people that aren't from around here, the poor officer that he hit was not even affiliated with the same police department. We have city cops and we have county sheriffs, and then you have other small municipality, police officers. This guy had no clue. I mean, I'm sure he knew that a Cincinnati cop shot Mr. Hinton's son. I'm sure he knew that because it's the community. That's just the way it is. You hear about it. But he didn't have any affiliation with that. So for what this guy's saying, there is a special spot in hell for you, sir. And goddamn, I hope you find it soon.
We started off the show talking about the mental decline of Joe Biden, but to put out a statement like this.
Hold on, I'm gonna say something real quick.
Okay,
Cincy, I'm fucking reading this because I knew Larry, and I feel the message needs to get out. So you can feel free to step out whenever you want, but I'm gonna read some dumb shit that goes against what happened with him. I'm going to read it all day long. So feel free to step out if you don't like it. But this is a fucking travesty what happened. And the way that a lot of people are falling in the line for this stupid bullshit and accepting it and going on, oh, well, he did what he needed to do. No, I'm not going to accept it. So this is my platform. I can ban you if you would like, or you can just step out if you don't want to hear what I have to say. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, but we were talking about the mental decline of Joe Biden. But you've got to have to put out a statement like that. You've got to have some serious mental issues going on there. First of all, your facts aren't even close to being accurate, and then to suggest that somehow this guy is, striking back at the system by murdering a completely innocent human being
and helpless,
and then somehow you want to.
He didn't even see it coming.
You want to support this coward. Yeah, I know his son was gunned down by Cincinnati police. But you don't even have the decency to if you want to question that, to let the investigation play out and wait till you get all the facts before you go out and put out just an idiotic statement like that.
And that's just one of many that I fucking see.
Yeah. So
It's just amazing.
I mean,
people
you're
are fucking
a complete
gross.
idiot and a moron, and I hope you get a little chubby, knowing that we talked about you here on the podcast.
People are fucking gross.
Yeah, pathetic. You're a pathetic piece of human debris. That's all you are. You really are a piece of shit.
I'm gonna play our sponsor at the end of this, and then because we're kind of in a time crunch, but I'm gonna play our sponsor real quick, and then I will shoot on Instagram and Facebook when we're coming back to you. Hopefully Pappas will be around here soon. We're not exactly sure. It'll be in the next, within the next five days or so.
Well, if he doesn't get too worn out from his.
What's that?
What do you call those parties? Those
the freak outs?
The freak offs.
Or freak offs. Freak offs. Yeah, we gotta get him out of the freak offs.
Get your freak on.
We tried to throw a tether in there and he wouldn't grab it. So
hi everyone, Dan Carroll here. Time to tell you about a great new sponsor for the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. It's Murphy Engraving. Murphy Engraving is the place to go for your business, industrial, and personal engraving needs. Take a look at the Murphy Engraving page on Facebook, and you're going to see all kinds of unique items that really seem to take on a life of their own because they've been customized with an image, a name, or a logo, and all of it just really beautifully done. The acrylic sports awards that light up are especially creative and very cool. The customized bottles of bourbon, those are my personal favorite. And wait till you see what they can do with items that are made out of wood. The next time you want to recognize someone special or you're looking for that one-of-a-kind gift, you'll be glad you checked out Murphy Engraving. And a bonus, you're supporting a local family-owned business run by brothers Brian and Kevin, who is a lifetime firefighter and Air Force vet. At Murphy Engraving, they turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and at Murphy Engraving, we are American-made.